Kobe Day. KW Password Day.
Yeah.
Which is Kobe Day. Right? First day of Ignite.
Yes. The class I missed.
Woo! Are you pumped up and ready?
Yes. Yes.
So Ignite is for everyone. Doesn't matter whether you've been in the business for 10 years, 15 years, 2 days. It's for everybody. If you've been in the business for a while, it's designed to help reignite, recreate some of those old habits that maybe you had and had forgotten. Gotten off the track a little bit. Sound familiar at all? Okay, it's to help you designed to do that. Also, it's designed to help the newer folks get a plan. Get some, get their hands on the steering wheel. We're going to go through 12 sessions. It's 3 days a week. It's Monday Day, Wednesday Day, and Friday Day. 9:30 in the morning till 12:30 in the afternoon for about 4 weeks. We're going to be going through your big why. Why are you in this business? Why are you in this room? What drives you? What gets you up in the morning? What stirs your soul? It's vital that we go through that because this is a business. And like any business, we have challenges and we have struggles and things that come upon us. And when we reach those points, we've got to dig down deep and find out what that why is to get us out the bed, to the gym, and then to the office so we can do the business. Yes?
Yes.
Real estate is a contact sport. Did you know it?
Yes.
Well, then you're going to act like it over the next 4 weeks because the goal of Ignite is that you're going to add 200. Did you hear me? You're going to add 200 people to your database in the next 4 weeks.
Why are you running away?
Because of the shouting. No, I was expecting to hear, woo, yeah! Because we know that when we add 200 people to our database, that's going to do what to our business?
Increase it.
It's going to make it go up. I'm in a room full of business owners that want to make money, yes?
Yes.
Yes? So then the idea of adding 200 people to your database is a pretty good thought, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But it's going to take what?
Work.
It's going to take work. It's going to take what? Beyond work.
Commitment.
Commitment.
Determination.
Commitment. Let me ask you a question. Is there a difference between being committed to something or being interested in something?
Yes.
What is it?
Interested is when you want to do it.
Okay. All right, but I say I'm committed because I want to.
Interested,
Commitment.
you're just kind of there for the fun, or
There for the fun.
yeah, because you enjoy it. Professional or because you're committed.
So I want to lose 100 pounds, so I go to the camp and I start on an eating plan because I enjoy it. Well, I mean, some people do.
The difference between interest and commitment is that interest can be a want to do it, but not necessarily doing it. And the commitment is waking up every morning and doing it, and without any
So we're focused a
deviation.
lot on the interested piece. So maybe we should look at it from the other angle. What's it mean to be committed to something?
Sacrifice.
It means you do it whether you want to do it or not.
You do it whether you want to do it or not. It means that you're only focused on the results. Nothing gets in your way. In coaching, we talk a lot about excuses, right? it doesn't really matter what the excuse is. You had a flat tire on the way. Is that an excuse?
Yes.
Yeah, it's still an excuse. It doesn't mean that it's not a legitimate excuse, right? It's unavoidable. So we had to do something different to compensate for the fact that we had a flat tire on the way in. But it's still an excuse. We can allow those excuses to get in our way. When we're fully committed to something, would the flat tire detour us from the rest of our day?
No.
We would just push through, right? We would just keep going. So when we're interested in something, we do it when it's convenient. When we're committed to something, we will do it no matter what, and we are only interested in the results. So the question is, are you committed to Ignite for the next 4 weeks?
Yes.
Yes.
And how will we know that?
By being here.
Doing the activities.
By being here and doing the activities. Right? Remember, this is an activity-based curriculum. Real estate is a contact sport. By the way, think about this. How you do anything is how you do everything. So how you show up here is likely how you show up where?
Everywhere.
Including to your business every day. So it's not just about being committed to Ignite, but when you show the commitment to Ignite, that you're showing the commitment to what? To the business. And what will happen from that? Results. Results. Yes? So we're going to start by your big why and your monetary goal. Then you're going to move into what it's like to deal with a seller and work with a seller. Pricing homes. We're going to bring in this go around. We have a very special guest coming in. We have an appraiser that's going to come in during that session of pricing your home and give us a lesson on what it's like to be an appraiser and how they appraise and how they obtain values and give you some different insights around that. Then we're going to move into buyers and working with buyers and how to set expectations. I pause there because it's so important. Amy knows, she's been listening to me for a couple of years now, and she keeps hearing me say the most important step is to set expectations in that first meeting. So we're going to go into that, talking with buyers, how to work with them, how to show homes, right? And even if you don't have any clients right now and you're showing homes to, we're going to put you out in the street so you can go look at houses. What a novel concept. We're in the house business and we're going to go look at houses. Crazy, crazy town. Yeah?
Yes.
Then we're going to go over how to make and receive offers. What a concept, right? We're going to talk about negotiations and how to best do that. So this is truly a plug and play from the very beginning to the very end of everything that you need to do. And we're going to do it in 4 weeks. So it's imperative that you're here every day. So there's going to be a commitment on your part, as we discussed. And as any commitment, it's going to take some time away from your familia. So we've got some expectation agreements. I don't know, do you give the husband and the wife?
I know, I think I only need one.
I think you only need one, right? We're going to give you agreement of expectations.
Oh, in fact, don't skip, I find my
And a family significant other agreement. So the agreement of expectations, we're going to do it right now. Okay? So, first of all, we're going to set some ground rules before you agree to the expectations. We're going to set some ground rules. First of all, what time does Ignite start? 9:30. So what time should you be here? 9:25. Or somebody say 9:18 or something? 9:15. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Right? It'll start at 9:25. I mean, it starts at 9:30. You should be here no later than 9:25 so that you're in your seat. You've got your coffee, your binder's open, you're ready to go. Everybody should have a binder.
Yes.
Okay? The sessions are marked. You're also going to have a mission. At the end of each session is a mission. We call it the mission. It's homework. You're going to be expected to complete those activities in that mission by the next time that we meet each session. And I will be holding you accountable to that. What happens if you don't complete your mission?
There's no results.
There's no results. It shows your what?
Commitment.
Your lack of commitment if you don't complete it. It shows that you're only interested. So we'll come up with something that will make sure that your feet are held to the fire and you complete your mission each session. Okay? That being said, on the mission, the new Ignite is being launched, so some new material is coming out. So some of the videos on there do not work anymore. Don't be alarmed. It's okay. It's by design. The main point is that you're going through, because the main crux of this curriculum is still very much applicable. And most of the points on your mission are applicable. But if the video doesn't work, because they're moving things, they're transitioning things, like as we speak, we're transitioning into Ignite 2.0, which will be launched here pretty soon. It's in the lab phase right now. Okay? But don't let that diminish the weight of the entire message. The real estate business is simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. Yeah? Okay. You're expected that when you're here, you're here. How many of you read the one thing? If you're in coaching, we've been reading it. Tomorrow is chapter 8. Yeah, oh, I forgot, I'm behind. Yeah. Tomorrow is chapter 8. And in the one thing, what do we learn about multitasking?
It's a lie.
It's a lie. It's not a thing. So, if you're in Ignite and you're committed to Ignite and you're committed to your business, does that mean that you are also committed to your horn? I don't want to see any of this. I don't want to see any of this. Right? That will not serve you. You'll miss something. You need to be committed. There's one thing I've learned. I've been in real estate, for those of you who do not know, for 20 years. I've been involved in over 2,700 transactions. I'm pretty clear on the process of buying and selling a home. Would you think? What I've come to learn is there are no emergencies that cannot wait 90 minutes or 2 hours. About the only thing that is that time sensitive is, oops, we hit a snag in funding. So for those of you that have multiple escrows, how many in here have more than 5 in escrow? Okay, how many more have 3 or more in escrow? 2 or more in escrow? 1 or more in escrow? Okay, so that means that when the phone rings or when a text comes through, it's likely not to be an emergency. If you've got 5 things or more in escrow, then the likelihood goes up that you could be in one of those crucial situations where the funder is trying to get a hold of somebody because something was missed. And you're not going to make closing if you don't get funding in time. Other than that, oh, I got the request for repair from the buyer. By the way, you're teaching and training your clients how to treat you. Let that sink in. So if every single time your client reaches out, if you are Johnny on the spot, like in reaction mode, what are they going to expect every single time?
Just gonna jump every time they.
That you're going to jump every every single time they make a move. And what happens one time when you can't because you legitimately are in a listing appointment? If you're sitting with a seller and you're providing a listing presentation and your phone rings and it's a buyer, do you stop the presentation and take the call?
Not at all.
Why not? What's the difference?
You already have them.
You're in the digital business.
Right? You're now focused on this client. It would be unfair. What makes this client who's calling on the phone more important than the one that you're sitting in front of? It doesn't make any sense. And it's okay to let the phone ring then. It should be now. Every appointment on your calendar should be as if it's the $1 million listing appointment. If you treated your calendar that way, what would your life look like?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Keeping focused on the one thing. So we're going to hold you accountable to that. We're not going to expect you to pick up your phone and run out the room and do email and write an offer while you're here. No, your objective while you're in here is to be committed to Ignite. And remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. So how you show up for here is how you show up for
Your appointments.
your business and your appointments. So we're going to hold you accountable to that. So I commit to attending all Ignite sessions, initial it if you agree. I commit to adding to my database 200 or more, Nico, or more names and contact information as quickly as possible within 30 days of this dated agreement. I commit to lead generating, speaking with people about real estate every single day of my life. If you're committed, if you're only interested, then you might think, oh, I don't know. I commit to making business calls during Ignite classes. Yes, you will have time during every Ignite for lead generation. What is your number one job description?
Lead generation.
Lead generation. So, what kind of curriculum would we have? What kind of company would we be if we didn't put our money where our mouth was? So during this activity-based curriculum, yes, activity-based class, you're going to be making calls. I commit to completing my mission for each power session of Ignite. I commit to being prepared for my customers by memorizing and using scripts and sales language. Each session, our scripts included. If you're in coaching, you receive the locker room simplified script booklet that has all these scripts simplified in one place. You also have the Ignite script book at your disposal. If you're not in coaching, you've got that. And they're also included in here as well, in your binder. So there's no excuse. We've made it realtor proof. There's no excuses to not know the scripts. Yes?
Yes.
I commit to working on my 6 personal perspectives. You're going to know what that is after today. Today you're going to talk about your big why. You're going to set your monetary goal. And you're going to learn the 6 personal perspectives today. I commit to following a time-blocked calendar of activities throughout Ignite. I understand that I am developing success habits, and by agreeing to this covenant, I agree to take control of my own business success. I have discussed the commitment of this covenant with those in my life who will be affected, and they understand and have agreed to support me. And then you're going to have them sign that family or significant other document showing their willingness to support. So, by the end of, actually right now, I'm going to come around and collect those. Each session, we're going to be joined by a member of our ALC or a top producer of the office that has been invited by me and gone through what's it called? Something similar to what we call Train the Trainer, right? A class that's very similar to Train the Trainer, but kind of way weakened down right? Where we just go through and, not weekend, that's a bad word. That's not what I meant to say. Shortened is what I meant to say. Condensed, thank you. A condensed version. I'm my dad. When he turned 40, he started forgetting his words. I'm the same way. My words start to leave my brain as I need to use them. Sometimes. A condensed version of Train the Trainer that these folks have gone through. Okay? So every week, every session, I'm going to be coming in. I'm going to hold you accountable to your mission. We're going to go over your activities. And then we're going to introduce that day's speaker or facilitator. Yes? Are you with me?
Yes.
If you got it, say aye.
Aye.
Are you excited and fired up, ready to be ignited?
Yes.
If you got it, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so I give you the great, the wonderful, all the way from the east side, the selling machine, Mr. George Perez.
Good morning, guys, again.
Good morning, George.
How are you guys?
Good.
Well,
Does Drew do a good job starting this thing or what, right? Got me excited.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's begin by
Well, that
putting
was
these
a week,
things
yeah.
on
That was
silent.
we had Walter bought into that, and that was about it.
Put your phone on silent, please.
Doesn't Drew do a
That's
great
not
job?
happening.
Come on.
Woo! Distractions.
I'm a high eye. I need the.
Wednesday I have a
Okay.
I didn't
Don't we
finish
have
up.
to get?
The family when you're going to turn in later,
Oh, sorry, okay.
because your family member is likely not here today,
Right.
unless you're Amy Peralta.
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
you have to send it.
He already signed it for me.
Perfect.
Ah, see?
Good to go.
Got permission.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, my name is George Perez. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I've been in the business for about 10 years or so. Had some great experiences, learned a lot in the process, and have gone through the ups and downs of this business because they do exist, right? It's an emotional roller coaster. If you allow it to mess with you, you'll have some really high ups and some really low downs. The key to this business is to have an even keel. Don't get overexcited. Yeah, of course, you want to be excited, right? You're building a personal business, but don't let that excitement overtake the direction of where you're headed. Because when that direction does a U-turn, oh my God, boom, there goes your emotions, right? Straight to the concrete, and it happens. You know, I've been there, I've done that, and I'm telling you this from experience. You know, that's just the way the business is. Here's the thing, guys. You open 10 escrows, not all 10 are going to close. That's the bottom line and the reality of everything, right? Things happen. I'm not going to say that always happens, but it happens. Or if you open one escrow and it falls out and now you're no escrows, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened, right? And I always say this, if you don't have any escrows open, what does that make you? Unemployed. Exactly. So your objective in this business is to open escrows. Obviously from your lead generating. That's the key to the business. That's the blood that's pumping the heart of your business, right? And without that lead generation, you have no clients. Without clients, you have no contracts. Without no contracts, you have no escrows. And without no escrows, what? There's no paychecks, right? So you have to focus on that. You know, mindset is the number one key thing in this business. And that's what we're going to go over today. Like they say, if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you're absolutely right on that one too. You can't. So you choose. Do you want to do it or do you not? Are you committed or are you not? Right? Are you going to have that conversation or you're not? It's a choice. Everything in life is a choice. You can either decide to be happy or be sad. Right? So everything starts here. How do you wake up in the morning? What's your first thought?
I'm alive.
That's a great thought, right? But there has to be more than that. There has to be some passion behind it, right? Without passion, there is nothing. You have to be passionate about what you do. Like I became very passionate about teaching real estate. That's why me and Drew became partners, and we're the instructors now for the real estate school, right? So I get fired up by showing people what this business is all about. And I'm sure that you can hear it in my voice, right? So it's all about that mindset. When you wake up, get into that mode. Something that I learned in just in sales period or just in life is motion creates emotion. So in order to get into that mindset, get up. Move.
Just don't break it.
Right. Move around. Create energy. Right? Get those good endorphins going to your body. And that will give you the mindset that you need to really get to the point where you guys want to be. Agree?
Mm-hmm.
Say hi.
Aye.
Awesome. So let's get into the lesson. This is probably one of the best chapters in this whole session. Outside of chapter 7, because I teach chapter 7 also, right? Let's go to, start in page 8. Well, actually, let's go to page 7. So again, this is going to be about a 2.5 hour, it should be a 3-hour class. Drew stole about 30 minutes out of my time, but that's okay.
Where's this one on to Ignite?
Welcome to Ignite. So, I'll give you a quick snapshot of what Ignite did for me. I took Ignite probably about 2 or 3 times. The first time it was just like, really didn't pay attention or participate in the activities that Ignite gives you. How many of you guys have taken it before? I know Alex has. Okay, so Nico, Amy, this is your first time? You guys too? You taken this before? Okay, perfect.
Taking it out long now.
Perfect. The more the merrier. Okay? The second time that I took Ignite, I actually did everything that the program was teaching me to do. And it took my business from freaking 0 to superhero in a matter of 30 days. It was incredible what we were able to establish in the time that we took the business seriously, right? And that just launched our business into a whole different level. I had a partner at that time. It was incredible what we were able to do, and that year that we took Ignite and took our business, we ended up establishing a $500,000 in commission business. Yeah. It was like, damn, this is pretty freaking awesome, right? So that's the type of thing that these programs can do for you, right? But you have to do the work. Nothing comes easy, nothing is free, right? You have to 120% do the work. And the program does require work. It requires you to make calls. It requires you to have conversation. It requires you to go out there and view homes. It requires you to send out thank you cards. It requires you to add people to your database. It requires you to do things that are going to be income-producing activities. Does that make sense? So, if you focus on those activities, they will come, meaning the checks. Okay? By default. A lot of people focus, oh, I gotta make a paycheck. That's the worst thing to do in this business. Don't focus on, I gotta close this escrow, I got bills to pay. Focus on opening, focus on lead generating, because the money will come by default, right? I don't focus on the money. I focus on how many more people can I talk to, how many more escrows can I put in play, how many more listings can I get, right? It's all about lead generation. Not to be a show-off, but in the last 10 days, I listed 7 properties. Yeah, and it all falls down to lead generation. And I don't like putting my numbers out there talking about like the things that I do. Results speak for themselves, right? Hopefully, I'll put another listing under contract today. I got a listing appointment down in Santa Clarita with this lady that I've been trying to get it was an expired, right? And I've been calling her for the past 3 weeks, and last week, I stayed on the phone with her, kid you not, for like 45 minutes, just listening to her problems. That's all I did. I understand, I know, really, no way, oh my God. And she's like, George, I like you. I said, I like you too, Isabel. What about, let's do this, why don't we meet up for coffee? Right? And she's like, why don't you come to the conference where you can see it? Let's do it on Monday. I said, perfect. Okay, I'm your man. Right?
I just
So-
had one of those yesterday.
Say it again?
I just had one of those same calls yesterday.
Right.
Same exact call.
It's all a mindset, guys. Because I could have been like, oh, I don't want to talk to this lady. Boom, hang up. Right? Another experience. We had I focus a lot on fiscals and expireds, right? And one of the agents in our office heard me do a fiscal call on speakerphone. I always do my calls on speakerphone, right? I hate holding the phone. I gotta get an earpiece. He heard me get the appointment, right? Fiscal. And he's like, dude, how the heck did you do that? I says, about scripts. Learn the script.
Right.
And he's like, there's two listings in my neighborhood. They're both fiscals. They're two houses, like neighboring houses. He's like, the guy won't freaking give me the time of day to talk about it, potentially listing it. He's like, you want to call him? I said, yeah, sure. So he gives me the number, and I call him right then and then. And he sounded Arabic on the phone, right? The guy is like, just hello, right? And I said, hi, this is George Perez with Keller Williams. How you doing? Great. How can I help you, right? I said, I noticed you have 2 homes on the market as for sale by owners, and I was wondering if you're going to be paying a buyer's commission, because I talk to buyers on a daily basis. And he's like, oh, yes, of course. And I said, how much are you offering? And what he said was completely obscene. It was
$500.
no. He said, for you, I pay you my blank. An obscene thing, right?
Wow.
Like really, really bad. And there's 2 things I could have done in that situation. I would have hung up, or I would have said something to him, right? But I didn't. I started laughing, right? Well, I said, if I was interested in that, I'd take it all day long. But I'm not. I'm looking to make a paycheck, so how much are you paying? And the guy was like, oh, you're good. You're good. Come today at 6 p.m. So we went, right? I took the agent with me. We went to the appointments. The guy ends up, okay, we know the city already. We know the neighborhoods. I've been in this business for a long time, right? He gives us a tour of the neighborhood, not knowing what the neighborhood's about, right? He goes in there, gives us the keys to the property. He's like, go check him out. I'll wait outside. He shows up in a Mercedes Maybach, right? A $300,000 car. Tall guy like this big, wearing a Popeye. You know what Popeye is, right? The cartoon character? A Popeye hat, a sailor hat, and a Popeye uniform. Meaning, he had Popeyes at like it was crazy. And I'm like, what the heck?
What money can do.
Right. He turned out to be a retired heart surgeon. He bought the 2 homes for his kids, and his kids didn't like him. And he's like, you know what? F my kids.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. Long story short, we didn't get the listings, but we made a great contact, right? The guy is wealthy, right? He owns multiple properties. He has a practice that still is in play, and we built so much rapport that this guy calls all the time, be like, hey, what are you doing? Let's go to lunch, right?
But he still doesn't want to list the properties.
And I'm not looking for that. I got the appointment though, right? I put somebody in my database that could potentially generate some extensive business for me. And it was all because of the mindset that I put into that call. Because if I would have had a different mindset when he said that obscene thing, which he probably didn't mean, he was just trying to be, here's another freaking realtor calling me, right? Trying to brush me off. It would have been different. Now I'm friends with the guy. Right? And you can't let situations like that derail your mindset, or derail where you're headed, or derail your lead generation. Because it's going to happen. You're calling people with completely different personalities than yours. You're calling a person that has no idea who you are, and you have no idea who they are. Who cares? They hang up, call them back. I've done that many times. If they don't answer, then you move on. Right? If you're in that mindset where nothing matters, you'll conquer this business. Because it, like I said, it can be an emotional roller coaster. It can drain you if you allow it to. Right? But, I mean, if you were to be in the right mindset and get into production and have a six-figure income business, I mean, how many of you guys would be okay with making six figures in this business? Right? How many would be happy making six figures, period? It can happen. Because there's nothing different from you guys to any top producer in here. There's nothing different from you guys to Thomas Palaskis. You know what the difference is? He works. He does this every single day. He's here at 6:30 in the morning. Every day. He's the last one to leave every day because I'm here normally during the week. I'm here at this office about 3 times a week in the evenings, and I don't leave this place till 9:30, 10 o'clock, and Thomas is still here with me. Right? I get to the other office pretty early in the mornings, and then I go about, and ask me how many people are there in the mornings. I try to be there by 7. I'm the only one till almost 9. You know? So I keep all the lights off, you know, shut the wind. I like in the morning, I like it when it's peaceful and I can make my calls and I can be loud and it's pretty cool, you know? But it's like I said, it's no difference. It's just the level of commitment that Thomas Palaskis has to his business and the time that he's been in it to you guys. There's no difference. You guys can be the next top AV, not model, but producer, right? It's all up to you. How far do you want to take it? So, well, going into the lesson on page number 7, welcome to Ignite. It says, you're embarking on a new, exciting, and challenging adventure and leaving your former life behind. Leaving your former life behind. Because here's the thing, guys. Some of you are getting into real estate to either do a career change, start a career, or make some extra money. But regardless of the situation, you're changing your life. Does that make sense? You're growing. Because this business makes you grow. Trust me, it does. You're forced to grow. Right? You're growing right now. You're learning. You know, you're taking your mindset to a different level. Get your heart and head in the right place. In the right place. Your mind is the most powerful thing you can have. Get your heart and head. Highlight that, guys. Or underline it. Get your heart in the right place as we begin this adventure, because yes, it is. It's going to be an adventure. So be ready for it. Get your hand in the game. Write your answers to discuss the following questions in class. Have you achieved your financial goals through your career so far? Why or why not? Next question. What is the one thing that makes one real estate agent more successful than others? I just told you that. It's your commitment, your consistency. But more than anything, it's going to be your commitment. How committed are you? Can you imagine? I mean, Amy and her husband, okay? I'm going to take them as an example. So let's say that her husband came home one day and told Amy, hey, babe, you know what? I'm 99% committed to this relationship, but I'm good. What's Amy going to say?
That's what
Exactly. Why? Because 1% doubt and you're out. So you can't have that 1% doubt in this business. You got to have both feet in, both arms in, and your whole body in, including your head. 100%. You got to be 100%. Not 99% like the example I just used. Because that 1% is going to derail you. It really is. So, what separates you? Why do all agents do this? No, why do they do the business? Right? How do you feel about that? Meaning, what's the difference between you and successful agents? Is your desire to succeed more powerful than your fear from doing the one thing that will make you successful? Listen to that question, guys. Is your desire to succeed more powerful? Is it more powerful? Because here's the thing. I remember, I've been in sales for 20 years. And I remember when I first got into this business, this phone weighed 10,000 pounds for me. I couldn't freaking pick it up to make calls. I was afraid. What do you think the number one thing is that people are afraid of when they're lead generating? Rejection. Number one thing. Who cares? They don't know you. You're looking to get rid of all the no's because sooner than later you're going to have what? A yes. A yes. So why not get to all the no's as soon as possible to find that client that's going to work with you? Wouldn't that make sense? You're looking for that open door. So go and try to open every single one you can until you find one that opens without a key. Right? So are you guys ready?
Yes.
You're ready, you know what it takes, and you're powered by your conviction to succeed. How many of you guys are ready to succeed?
Yeah.
Not everybody said yes. How many of you guys are ready to succeed?
Yes.
You're in business. Next page, number 8. You got a binder? We're on page 8. You're taking Ignite? So not to put you on the spot, class starts at 9:30.
I know my daycare starts at 10.
Okay.
Sorry.
There's one thing that can propel you forward in your career. What is it? The secret is simple. It's not a secret at all. It's lead generation. Highlight that. It's lead generation. And you're going to learn this skill and do a lot in this course, so get used to the winning reality quickly. You are in sales. 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 It's a sales job. What does the sales require? You to have conversations with people. Right? So I always tell people, look, like in the real estate school, right? I always tell people, if you're afraid to have a conversation with a stranger, you're in the wrong business. You might as well not sign up for school. Because you're not going to have any success. I'm brutal when it comes to telling you the truth. Whether you want to hear it or not, that I really don't care. Right? I'm going to tell you the reality of it, because here's the thing. You're going to get into something that's going to make you miserable. And life is not about that. Life is not about money. Life is about being happy. Right? So if you're happy being a drive-through server over at McDonald's, if that makes you happy, go for it, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? If that's what you're passionate about, I'll be your biggest cheerleader. Right? But we are in sales. Right? It requires certain actions that some people will be afraid of doing. Can you break out of that shell? Of course. I did it. You know? I wasn't this 10 years ago. Your livelihood is dependent on the number of homes you help others buy or sell. Gary Keller, co-founder of the company, says you're actually in 2 businesses in this order. The business of lead generation and the business of real estate. Absolutely. Mindset and attitude matters. You may think that lead generation will be making phone calls that are bothering and annoying to people. What we feel that way, especially when we feel like we're being sold to. So let me ask you, what's the number 1 lead generation activity that an agent can do?
Open houses.
Open houses. Why?
Because people are there to look at the house.
Non-threatening.
They're coming to you. Not
Right.
everywhere.
It's non-threatening. You're not selling them, you're just showing them. Right? You're showing them a house. You're giving them a service. Right? When you're door knocking for an open house, you're not door knocking to see if they want to sell. You're door knocking to invite them, non-threatening. Hey, my name is Jorge Perez. Just want to invite you to my open house around the corner tomorrow at 10. I personally want you to be my guest. Right? It's not threatening. That's why it's the easiest, non-threatening way for an agent to generate leads. When I first started in this business, actually when I first started in the office in KW, I came from another office. I was in the business for about a year. And I decided to move over to KW, and I didn't have any business when I got into the business, right? When I came over here. So I had no choice but to do open houses, which was the easiest way for me to generate leads. And the majority of leads that you're going to generate from an open house are what? Buyers, right? So my first open house, I ended up getting like 2 or 3 buyers, and I was super excited. I was like, yeah, this is easy, you know? So what did I do? I go and I buy a whole bunch of open house signs. Actually, I made them, right? Because me and my dad and my brothers have done construction work all of our lives. My dad grew up, he's done construction work his whole life. We grew up doing construction work, right? So I knew how to weld, I know how to weld, I know how to do a number of things. I went and bought the material, and I freaking cut the material, and I welded my signs. I still have them, right? And I started doing open houses every single day, 7 days a week, every day. I'd find a house that was in a potential good area, and I'd go set up shop, make it my office. And I would do it every single day for like the first 6 months. And I was generating so many freaking buyers, it was unbelievable. They started calling me the open house king here. They would call me to see if I could do an open house for them. Right? Agents. And then I got burned myself out, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that it was an activity that didn't require much from me, and the people would come. I remember setting up open houses here on the west side by Esperanza, the elementary school. One of my buddies had a listing that was directly across the street from the school. You remember Dave Schroeder, right? It was Dave. And I called him up. It was vacant. I said, hey, bro, can I use your house to do an open house? He's like, when do you want to do it? He said, tomorrow morning. He's like, what time? He said, 6 a.m. He was like, 6 a.m.? And he's like, what the hell are you going to do an open house at 6 a.m.? He's like, dude, it's literally in front of the drop-off gate where the kids get dropped off. You know how many parents go through that day? Sure enough. Right? I set up shop. That morning, about 6:30, I was already set up, and I went all the way to like 9 in the morning, and I just had parents coming through, boom, boom, boom. And I did that all week. I had coffee and donuts for the parents every single morning. Right? It worked.
They go over there, they have donuts.
Yeah, and I would set up in the morning, 2-3 hours, and then I'd set up in the afternoon when the kids were getting picked up, because not everybody was able to roll in, you know? And I just started getting creative with these ideas, right? And these things actually did work. I'm like, hey, this thing does, I gotta start teaching this stuff, you know? So it became my #1 lead generation source, right? And then I started focusing on sellers. And that's what I mostly focus on now. Yeah, I get my occasional buyers, but I'm not out there looking for buyers. I'm out there looking for sellers. Why? What do you think? Why do you think listings is your #1 thing in this business?
Advertisement and it pays for itself.
Leverage. Keyword, leverage. Why? Because a listing is a 2-for-1 deal. What does that mean? You get 1 listing and you get 2 buyers. Why? Because you have a sign in front of that house. A sign with your phone number. And guess what that phone does? It rings. It rings. Right? So people ask you, hey, Amy, how much is the house on 123 Main Street? It's this much. Are you a buyer or a seller? Oh, I'm a buyer. Great. Are you working with an agent? No? Great. Guess what? I'm your new agent. Right? So it all starts somewhere, guys. Right? So mindset and attitude matter. Change your mindset to focus on being of service. How can I service you? How can I help you? Right? How can you be a servant to somebody? You're not going to be their slave, but you are here to service your clients. you have a fiduciary duty. Right? How many people know that? Once you sign a contract, it's your fiduciary duty to serve your client and protect them to the highest ability of yourself. Right? Adopting a mindset and a philosophy of contributing to the lives of other people allows you to be direct and to the point in your interactions with others. With a focus on the contribution of being of service, you'll communicate more effectively with customers and win their hearts and minds effortlessly. Absolutely. Right? Energy, enthusiasm, and a deeply rooted belief in doing the best job possible for each and every customer attracts people to you. Positive attracts what?
Positive.
Positive. Right? So if you're positive, if you have high enthusiasm, if you're high energy, people get attracted to that. I want to know what this guy's on. I want to know what's in his drink. What kind of coffee are you drinking there? Right? It gets you attracted. It's like a magnet. So imagine if you could be Drew at every listing appointment. You think you would get that contract signed? Yeah, absolutely. Why? Because of the energy that you're transmitting, right? Take every opportunity to educate the people in your personal, professional, and social life about what you do and how you can help them.
Every opportunity.
Every opportunity. And I'm going to tell you one right now. These reminders for people in your network can lead to many, 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 many referrals for your business. So when I was at this office, I'm actually at KWE side, but when I was at this office years ago, I had a partner, right? And we call it the mall run. Every Friday, we'd hit every single restaurant and have a couple beers at every restaurant, drop off our business cards, have conversations with the staff, and just let them know that we were agents at KW, right? And we did that for months, sometimes even years. I think it was years, actually. And every Friday, we hit every single spot, every single one. I mean every single spot that had a bar, right? I'm not saying for you guys to go out there and freaking start drinking every freaking Friday at every bar, right? But, right? So we hit it, and we personally make it our mission to let them know that we were the dynamic duo at Keller Williams. Right? That was our team name. Last year, I sold 5 homes to 5 servers at 5 different restaurants at the mall, because of what I established years ago. So I sold one to a lady at Denny's, a guy at Chili's, a couple at the Olive Garden, and one guy at El Torito. The same year, they called me.
The restaurant.
Right. Because as you read the previous page, make sure you tell everybody what you do. Why? Because the moment that somebody thinks of real estate, what do you want to be? You want to be top of mind. You want them to think about Alex or Nico or Amy, right? And how does that happen? You have to establish the fact that you're a real estate agent with everybody and everybody you come in front of. You know, I mean, can you go up to a stranger and be like, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent. You want to buy a house?" Simple as that. Get straight to the point. You know, hey, I'm a real estate agent. You want to sell your house? No. You want to buy a house? No. You want to invest? You know. So, and here's the thing: just because that person said no, doesn't mean that somebody in their circle doesn't want to buy or sell.
Right.
Who do you know that might be interested in buying or selling real estate? Right? If you don't ask, a hungry mouth that doesn't ask for food, what?
Doesn't eat.
Won't get fed. Won't get fed. I don't care how hungry you are. If you don't ask for food, you won't get anything. Remember that. Page 9. Help me out here, Nico.
6 principal perspectives. The most successful at this business know it takes a certain mindset and attitude to keep at it every day, and especially to excel. Fortunately, Keller Williams Realty has a foundational model for a successful mindset which came into existence when Gary Keller asked the question of hundreds of top agents. That question is, what is what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? After thoroughly researching this question, Gary discovered that all of the high achievers have three basic attributes in common: mindset, attitude, and approach to life. Based on these three attributes, the 6 personal perspectives came to be.
Is that powerful or is that powerful? 6 perspectives. So how you approach life is how you approach everything. The type of mindset that you have every day will determine the type of day that you have. So if you're in a crappy mood in the morning, what kind of day are you gonna have? Crappy day. If you're in a great mood, what kind of day you're gonna have? Great day. So how many of you guys know who Tony Robbins is? Everybody? So Tony Robbins, I've been following this guy for, I don't know, since I can remember, right? And have any of you been to any of his events?
No.
You have? Okay. What's one of the key things that he makes you do to create energy?
You had to move.
Jump. He has high-powered energy with some bass thumping, right? And he's having you jump and jump and jump and screaming and screaming and screaming, right? Why? He's getting you in a good mood, right? Try doing that yourself. Without even, wake up in the morning and straight out of bed, start jumping and start yelling something positive. I guarantee you that I used to do it in my office here at this building. Because I'd be here at 6:45, 7, and I'd close my door, throw on some music, and just start jumping. I have videos of me doing that stuff, I swear. And that energy would be like, heck yeah, let's do this, right? So, how you approach your life is how you're going to approach everything that you come in contact with. And like I said, positive equals positive. So if positive equals positive, what do you think a negative equals? A negative, right? So don't walk around in a negative way, because people will notice. Like I walked in this morning, and I walk into Drew's office, and he's like, "Hey, George." I was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
I thought
Right?
you were sick. I told you.
I know.
I
He's
know.
like,
I said, "Are you
"I'm
sick?"
just tired."
No,
I said, "It's
why-
Monday, bro. Snap out of it." And he's like, "You're right." Right? So, like I said, if you let yourself fall into that mindset, it'll affect the rest of your day.
So it's good to have an accountability partner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's somebody that's not going to put up with your negative side, in better terms. Right? So, step 1, page 10. Commit to your self-mastery. Self-mastery is the possession of knowledge, skills, and habits that make you master of you. So let me ask you, what are you doing on a daily basis to improve your knowledge and skills? What are you doing in what type of habits are you guys adapting? You know, a habit, you guys read the one thing, right?
We're doing this.
Okay, one thing, and this is something that's proven, touches on habits. And it takes about 90 days, actually it takes about 66, but you stretch it out to 90 days, for something that you do on a daily basis for it to become a habit, right? So, what habits are you guys doing on a daily basis that's going to determine your knowledge and your level of skill, right? Scripts should be your number one thing
In the morning.
in the morning. First thing in the morning when you get to the office, scripts, practice. Find somebody that's not your friend to do script practice with. Because here's the thing, when you're friends with somebody, you're friends with that person because more than likely it's the same personality as you. You guys get along. Find somebody that's not your friend, that's completely different personality with you, and that's going to hammer you on your script. Right? So I used to have a script class over on the east side. Actually, we were doing a contest. And I would practice with these guys, right? Well, guys and girls. And I would make them be the agent, and I act like I was the other person on the line. I was the seller. And I'd act like an a-hole. Seriously. Like on the other line, I just realized I just have a nasty attitude, right? I wanted to see how they were gonna handle that. How are you gonna handle when you talk to somebody like that? Because here's the thing, guys. If you guys can learn how to handle an objection on a call or an objection in front of a person, you'll close a deal. Be an objection handler. If you know how to handle objections, you could do any type of call. Whether it's a buyer, seller, expired physical, whatever, right? That's the number one key thing. Learn how to handle these. How do you handle those? It's by practicing your scripts. As I always tell people, you can't watch ER and expect to become a doctor. You gotta go to school, medical school for that matter, right? So in this business, you gotta do your homework. You gotta come to school, right? You gotta do your scripts. You gotta put in your work in order for you to learn the language of real estate, right? Because if you become that expert and know what you're talking about and sound professional, how much more do you think? How much more business do you think you would acquire, right? Does that make sense?
Are you still doing those script practices?
We're going to be starting them again as soon as Ignite is over. This session. We'll be back on the east side. I'll be running another contest. And mind you, you guys, obviously you know Brandon. How many of you guys know Brandon? Okay. Brandon, he's been in the business I think like a year or so. He was one of my guys over there taking the scripts with us. He's good. But he sharpened his axe, right, with the scripts. And at the end of the day, he ended up winning the script contest. He ended up winning $100 cash and an open house kit, right, from On Track Escrow. And the contest wasn't free. Well, yes and no. In order for you to participate, you had to pay $25 a week, right? If you missed a day, you would lose $5 for every day that you missed. And that money would go to a pod that would be obviously part of the grand prize. If you didn't miss any days, then that money would move over to the next week. So if you missed 5 days, you lost $25. Alex is testament to that. But she had a great excuse. She had to go out of town. You know, she paid her $25 and lost it 1 week. Right?
It's like, bye.
There's my money.
Go have
Yeah.
lunch.
Right? And I don't do that to get money out of you. I do that
It's commitment.
to commit.
Yeah.
To commit you guys. You know, and I know $5 a day is nothing,
It's a Starbucks.
but yeah, it's a $5. Right? So it's that those knowledge and skills are gonna definitely be something you guys are gonna need. So I always tell people, what are you reading? You know, what are you into? You should, every person I believe every person in life should be in a book every day. You know, readers are leaders. I always tell people that. So what are you reading that's allowing you to expand your skills and your knowledge and your mindset? When you commit to achieving self-mastery, you know your goals, know your numbers. What are your numbers this year? Are you on target to hit them? What's it going to take on a monthly, weekly, daily, hourly basis to get you closer to that goal? Numbers don't lie, right? It's a mathematical equation. So if your target is to close, let's say 25 deals this year, what's it going to take every single month to get to that 25? How many people do you have to talk to on a daily basis to get you closer to that goal? So if you do 25, you have to know what your target is per month. By knowing what your target is per month, you know how much activity you have to do per week. If you know how much activity you have to do per week, you can break it down to a per day and per hour status. Right? I got to do 300 calls a day to generate one seller. Example. Right? So know your goals. Know what your strengths and weaknesses are. Right? Me and Drew, we're business partners in the school, right? He hates paperwork. You know, he could care less about paperwork. Right? He's an ID, and he has nothing else. Right? I'm an IDC. You guys, obviously everybody knows what the disc is, right? You know what the disc is? Okay, it's a personality trait. Okay? I would highly advise you to take it. It's an assessment personality. Once you learn what each letter stands for, and it's somebody that's very outgoing, like me and Drew, right? We're loud and vibrant colors, and you're the laugh of the party, the jokester, right? The D is somebody that's very dominant, straight edger. Boom. Let's get to the. I don't want information. What's the final cut? Right? That's a D. Very dominant. And then you got a C, which a C is more like an engineer, pocket protector, right? They like data. They like numbers. They want information. And then DS, it's somebody that's very systematic. So mine, I lead with my I, which I love having fun, right? And then my D is my aggressive side, but I also have a C where I like being organized, and I want to know what's going on, right? Drew doesn't have that. Our first two letters match up except for our third one. That's why we make such a good partnership, because we hold each other accountable. You know, I know that this has to be done, and Drew's like, I'll do this. Perfect, right? So that has a lot to do with it. You know, not everybody's going to be on the same boat as you. You guys are going to have different strengths and different weaknesses. Focus on what your strength is. And for example, with you two, I guarantee you guys are different in many ways. So focus on what you guys are going to focus on in the business. And hold each other accountable to that. Right? Same thing with you guys. Just because you're not working the business with somebody else doesn't mean that you can't have yourself being held accountable to your weaknesses and your strengths. Know how to work with your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. Right? Growing. Throughout Ignite, you will be acquiring skills and developing habits to be successful, moving you towards self-mastery. Number 2, commit to the 80-20 principle. The idea of 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results may be the one and the most powerful principles you can apply in your life. It's about getting the most out of your time and effort. It's about maximizing your results. It's about having focus. You ever heard The Rock say, focus? Ever see him say that? Watch it. Look up his videos on YouTube, man. He'll be in the gym and he'll be like, hey, focus, right? It's hilarious. Have that mindset, right? Focus on what your job should be in the business. In Ignite, we identify your 20% for you. Your money-making activity is lead generation. So here's the thing. In the book, the one thing, it talks about the 80-20 rule. Right? And the 80-20 rule does exist. 20% of your business will come. No, let me put that wrong. 80% of your business will come from the people that you know, and the other 20 will come from people that you don't. Okay? That's why it is so important for you to grow your database, because it's studied and it's in the MRE book, the red book that KW has, which is it's right there in the cabinet. That 80% of your business within a 10-year mark will come from your database. 80%. That's huge. What does that mean? That means you gotta have a nice database. Your database is your inventory to your business. That's your stock, right? That's what's in your warehouse. So how are you taking care of your inventory? In order for you to have the majority of the business coming from that, right? Next page, page 12. Remove your limiting beliefs. How many of you guys know what a limiting belief is? Hello? How many of you guys know what a limiting belief is?
Something that keeps you from doing what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Creativity.
Exactly. I don't think I can do that. That's a limiting belief. Oh, I don't know if he's going to show up. Oh, I don't know if she's going to show up. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get the appointment. Oh, I might. That's a limiting belief. Right? Get rid of that. Get rid of that mindset. High achievers remove beliefs from their thinking that hold them back. What's holding you back? Can you get rid of that belief? You know? In some instances, it's your relationship. I'm not saying to get rid of your other half, but, you never know. And it happens. Sometimes your spouse or your other half is the person that doesn't support you.
Bringing
You know what I mean?
negativity in your life.
Say it again?
So they bring negativity.
Yeah.
I just got out of a relationship that was like
And
that.
that's obviously that's a conversation that you got to have with your significant other. Of like, look, I need your support, right? And that's why it's awesome when I see couples like them working the business together, because you see it. You see a lot of couples in this business be extremely successful. We have them in his office, right? Mick and Julie Perez, Otto and Veronica over on the east side, Margarito and his wife, the real team. They're hustlers. You know what I mean? They're in it to win it together. And what better partner to have than your spouse or your significant other in this business, even if they're not involved, right? But they're 100% committed to seeing you grow, right? In order to successfully develop a higher level, you will need to be clear. You would need to clear your mind of limiting beliefs first. For example, are there any thoughts in your head? Any of these thoughts? Number one, I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. Some people waste too much time getting ready to get ready. Oh, I gotta make sure that everything is perfect because I gotta start lead generating. I'm getting ready to get ready. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And then by the time they're ready,
Time's up.
it's time to go home. Or it's time to go to lunch.
Comes in at 11:15.
Right?
Folks like it's time for lunch. But he works though, but it's just funny.
You're never gonna, like I have students in the real estate school that want to know everything about the business, right? I said, it doesn't matter. I always tell people, why do you want to know that? Well, I just want to know. For what? You don't even have a license. Who cares? Right? Let's focus on getting your license first. And in order to do that, you have to pass my classes. How about that? Right? So let's focus on doing that. Right? I had a guy the other day, he's like, he wants to know the whole process of an escrow. I said, there's no need for you to know that right now.
Time to come and sit in an escrow class.
He doesn't even have a license yet. There's no point.
Yeah.
He needs to study my material in order for him to get his certificates so he can get a state exam date. That's what he needs to focus on, right? So, if in this business, if you're afraid that you're going to make mistakes, don't be, because you're going to make mistakes. That's a given. You're coming into something new, but that's okay. Recover fast. Ask people. Everybody in here is willing to lend a helping hand. Everybody's willing to show you how to fill out a contract. Drew, get into coaching, right? Ask the staff. That's what they're here for. It's funny because it seems like for some reason I've become the go-to guy. I guess just because people end up liking me for some reason. I don't know. And I get calls, hey, bro, how do you do this? I get calls from agents from other offices. Not to be a show-off or anything, but it happens. Like, hey, dude, I got a quick question. Hey, how do you do this? Right? Oh, perfect. If I can help them, great. And if I can't, then, you know what, bro? I don't know. I say, you're going to have to talk to somebody else. I just don't know, But don't be afraid. You know where you're going to learn the business? Out there. Out there in the field. Not in here. A lot of people come in here, and like I said, they get in front of a computer and they send messages on Facebook and they think that's lead generating. I always tell, it can be, but I always ask people, what kind of results did you give me? How many leads have you gotten from Facebook?
A couple, actually.
Well, then it's working, right? But people spend sometimes all day long here or here, right? And not expecting to have wasted time, right? So if social media is your source of lead generation, you have to make sure that it's lead generating. Because if you're just sending messages out and letting social media be your #1 platform for that, and it's not producing anything, then it's really not an income-producing activity. But if it is, what's your name? Nicole. But if it's working for Nicole, hey, more power to her. right? I don't think I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. Well, what is your profit goal? We all agreed right now that there's no difference from any other successful agent than to you guys, right? Any successful agent making 6 figures a year. I mean, how many of you guys have ever made 6 figures a year? Nobody? Not even you, Alex?
Yeah, I have.
You guys haven't made 6 figures a year ever?
Not real estate, yeah.
I mean, period.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have.
I mean, how great does that feel? Right? So imagine for you guys making 6 figures in your own personal business. You know, not having, well, a quote-unquote boss, because you should be your own boss. And if you're not doing the right thing, you should fire yourself and rehire yourself with a different mindset. Right? Put yourself in the mirror like, you're fired! Right? Because, like I said, it requires certain activities. Because I'm in the business will come to me naturally. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't need to devote 3 hours each day to lead generation. Bull crap. Right? That to me, that's an insane belief. Not a limiting belief, right? That's an unlimited belief. Nobody will come knock on your door. Hey, I'm here. I'll equal a check. You got to go find it. All right? So having that type of belief is the worst thing. And a lot of people do get into this business with that mindset. They get a license. Getting your state license with the Department of Real Estate is the most easiest thing you're going to do in this business. The hard work begins when you're out there putting in time to generate leads, right? So the limiting belief of people getting into this business thinking that, I'm going to get into real estate, they're going to flood me with leads. That doesn't work that way. Unless you go into a team, then yeah, that team will give you leads, but guess what? You got to bring in leads too, and on the leads that you make, you're not going to make 100% commission. You're going to make whatever agreeing commission you have with that team, right? So, yeah, some people start with a team, some people start on your own. I'm a true believer that you should start on your own. Learn the business, right? Find yourself a mentor. Get into coaching. Coaching in this office is done by a per deal basis. How great is that? You know how much my MAPS coach charges me every single month? $1,000. Whether I produce or not. I have to pay him every single month. It's $1,000. Whether I produce or not, whether I make money or not, he's getting paid. Because that money is deducted from my account every single month on auto pay. Right? With Drew, you pay him when you close the deal. If you don't close the deal, guess what? He still coaches you. And Drew's good. He is really good at what he does. He wouldn't be the productivity coach if he wasn't. Right? So why not take advantage of that? A lot of people is like, I got to pay $500 out of my check to Drew? Yeah, he got you there. Duh. Look at Jessica Dixon. She's one of the top producing agents in this business, in this office. She's been in business for 2 years. She got her license through the previous school that we were here. As soon as she got licensed, she went into production. She went into coaching with Drew and did exactly to the T what Drew told her to do. And now she's one of the #1 producers in this office. 2 years. 2 years, guys. That's all it took her. She capped in her first year. Is that insane? Right? So can you do it? Absolutely. Do you believe you can? It's a question. Do you think you can? Like I said at the beginning, if you say you can, you're right. And if you say you can't, you're also right. Right? Henry Ford said that. So, what are your beliefs? How would you redirect these negative thoughts into positive ones, into unlimited beliefs? That will fuel your success. What will fuel your success? Do you think you're capable of doing it? You have to believe in yourself. It's all a mindset, guys. I need to be a professional, not an expert. Expertise will come by doing this business. And here's the thing, guys. You never, ever, ever stop learning.
Exactly.
Ever. The moment you think, oh, I arrived! Yes! That's the moment you screwed up. Because there's always room for improvement.
There's always something new that comes up. Even people that
Absolutely.
have been in business 30 years, they'll come and say, oh, by the way, do you know how to do this? Or have you heard of this? Or, you know. So it doesn't matter how long
I always tell my title officer, I said, hey bro, how were things when you did title for the Flintstones?
Oh.
He's been in the business for so long, right? Can you imagine? I mean, even when I started this business, the RPA, which is a residential purchase agreement, it was 8 pages long, right? It's 14 now. Why do you think that happens? Things change. Things get added to contracts. Why?
Somebody sue somebody.
Exactly. Somebody sues somebody for something, right? So when Marvin started the business, the contracts were 1 page and it was a carbon copy contract.
But, yeah, in '78, I bought my first house.
Right.
And that's exactly what it was. It
Yeah.
was 1 page.
Right. He has a copy in his office of that contract because he always brings it out, and I'm like, damn, bro, you're old. When I set and track my goal, I complete these activities required to meet. Wait. When I set and track my goal and complete the activities required to meet my goal, I will fund my life this year. Absolutely. Remember, guys. Oh, I'm reading my notes.
Oh. All right.
Remember, guys, it's right there.
Oh.
Life by design, not default. You have the ability of building your own life. That's what BOLD stands for. Building your own life on your terms, right? So what kind of life do you want to build? What kind of mindset do you want to have? Can you really get into that mindset where you believe in yourself? Because if you don't, it doesn't matter how much I believe in you, if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. Think about that, guys. Does that make sense?
Be bold.
So be consistent. Exactly. Be bold. You know, find what's your favorite bowl up in that wall and live life by it. Have the passion to do it. Be passionate about this business. And you'll be the most successful real estate agent in this valley.
We will have our own TV show.
Absolutely.
AB Realtors.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
So throughout the whole program, you're going to learn if you're having issues battling these limiting beliefs, how to get rid of them, right? Because this program literally, yes, we're teaching you how to build your business from A to Z, but what we're really doing is growing you, is expanding this, so you're going to expand that. Does that make sense? Page 13, be accountable. Accountability is crucial in this business. Because if you're not being held accountable by either another agent that's not your friend, because you can't be held accountable by somebody you know, or somebody, in this case, like them two, you can't be held accountable by each other. You gotta find somebody else, right? Preferably a coach. You know, why? Because, oh, don't worry about it, you'll hit it next time. No. What do you mean you didn't hit your numbers? You freaking crazy or what? What are you gonna do? That's the type of accountability you need. A friend is not gonna do that to you, or a spouse is not gonna do that to you, right? That's why you gotta find somebody that works for you, but that is completely opposite of you. Does that make sense? You know, so like for example, with me, there's certain, every personality is different, right? And not every personality can take the type of coaching that some coaches offer. My type of coach that gets me going is a football style coach. Like, I'm gonna get in your face type of coach, like a Marine coach. That's what fires me up. Get in my face and yell at me as a coach and tell me that I'm screwing up. Oh man, that fires me up. But if you're the type of guy that you're holding my hand and be like, oh George, you'll do it next time. I can't do that. That doesn't work for me, right? But if I have some, it reminds me of my football days where our coach would like motivate us to the point where we wanted to win, right? We wanted to do this. And not necessarily does it have to be in a negative form as some people can think about that. It's just the type of personality that you need. But here's the thing, if that personality is too soft for your personality, you might not fully commit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So accountability is the first and foremost accountability is first and foremost an attitude and an approach to your entire life. To your entire life. An accountable person says, everything in my life is a result of my choices and actions. I own my life. So true. What are you willing to do? How are you willing to commit? What activities are you willing to do? Accountability is also a tool for continually changing the results in your life in those areas that matter the most, your 20%. Right? Here's the thing, guys, that 80-20 rule, if you get to that 20%, and you could do the 80-20 rule to that 20% also. The one thing teaches you that, right? And once you do that 80-20 to that 20%, and you get your new results, you do the 80-20, and you keep doing that 80-20 rule until you get to 1%, which in this case, your 1% should be your lead generation, right? The most important thing. So, a person who is accountable to their 20% says, I own my life. And in certain areas, I want to continually improve my results. I will be purposeful. Highlight that. I will be purposeful. Do this business with a purpose. Are you intentional or not? Are you intending to do what you're saying you're doing? Or you're not? You gotta have direction, right? You gotta follow that arrow. Have you guys ever noticed that there's an arrow in the FedEx logo? You guys ever noticed that? You've never noticed? Google it really quick on your phones. Look, just Google FedEx logo. And that was meant for a reason. Because they're straight ahead. You see it?
Oh, yeah.
That was purposely done that way.
You can see it there. But as people forget.
Right? Because that was their motto is follow the arrow straight ahead. Right?
I've never noticed it.
I never noticed that either.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
See, you learn something every day.
Not changing the conversation, but I saw kind of like a documentary
Yeah, I
about
see it right here.
the logos for different companies.
Yeah.
And what they mean.
Right.
You know, why does it have this, whatever, people don't notice it.
Right.
They don't pay
Amazon, it's a happy face.
Exactly.
It's a smile.
Yeah.
On the Amazon logo.
It's funny.
Yeah.
That one I did not.
Every single logo has a purpose and a meaning.
Yeah.
Right?
Now I can't unsee it.
Now you're gonna see it forever.
It sits there forever now.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I see now.
Dude, I learned that like 10 years ago, and every time I see the FedEx logo, the first thing I see is the arrow.
Yeah.
Literally.
I know we're gonna be driving around looking at different logos.
Yeah,
Trying to figure it out.
trying to figure it out. But the point I'm trying to make with that is that was their motto. Follow that. Follow. You gotta have direction, right?
See the E and the X right there? See that shape? That's an arrow.
Ignite will provide you with the
Draw
tools
it out
to
for me.
develop and
You
cultivate
don't see
your
it?
accountability to be successful. Yes, it will.
You don't see it?
Oh, there it is.
See?
Got it? All right.
That's funny.
If you haven't already, view the 6 personal perspective videos on kwconnection.com, which it's not there anymore. But you might be able to find it on YouTube. So let's go to the next page, 14. Getting the most out of this experience. You have begun an exciting journey towards sparking your business and attaining your dreams. You're not simply a student or a learner in Ignite, you are a capper in training. How many of you guys know what a capper is?
It's fun.
Yes, it is.
It's fun.
Absolutely, it's fun making 100% of your commission,
No.
right? Can you guys do, how many of you guys have ever capped in here? Obviously Alex, I have, you guys are mostly new, so you guys haven't reached that goal yet, but you will.
Even on the royalties.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's a
absolutely.
little bit extra money in your pocket.
Here's the thing, guys. To get to a capping status, you need to close about 18 deals, right?
I thought it was about 6 or
So it's
7.
more than that.
Depending on the price too, right?
Yeah.
No.
So, well, right now it's probably about 12 based on the median
Yeah.
price. So our median price right now is 362 in the valley, here in the Alabama. How much is your like?
How many?
Oh, I was gonna talk about.
Yeah.
So it takes about 12, 13 deals to get to that point, depending on the price of the house, right? Because if you sell 12 land listings at $5,000, it's not gonna get you capping status, right? So you gotta get to that number, right? So we have a gentleman in his office. His name is Mike Benowitz, right? And I use him all the time, guys.
Sorry.
It's okay, because this guy was the proof in the pudding, right? Mike Benowitz was a produce manager for Albertsons on Pownell Boulevard and 10th Street West for 25 years, right? Full time. He worked real estate on the weekends, part time.
Lunchtime break.
Yeah, part time. And every year he capped. Part time. Every year. And I remember him saying, just wait till I retire from Albertsons. You guys haven't seen shit. That's the exact way he used to say. Excuse my French. Right? He was right. Because he's a freaking monster in the business, man. He's been retired for about 3 or 4 years. The guy's an animal. Or the man, I should say. You know? He is doing what he said he was gonna do. You know? So he worked the business part-time and made a full-time income out of it. He made 6 figures out of real estate every year, part-time. Why do you think he did that? He was committed, focused. He didn't have any limiting beliefs. Because a lot of people can say that, oh, I only do real estate part-time. I can't be a capper. That's a limiting belief. You know, it's a limiting belief because people do it. He's a great example of it, right?
Yeah.
So can it be done? Yeah, of course. So what kind of capper and training will you be in Ignite? The prisoner has to be there. Doesn't want to. These letters are tiny. Has to be there. Doesn't want to be there and doesn't know why they're there. You'll get people like that. The vacationer. A day in training is better than a day on the job. The explorer. Excited and curious about new knowledge, skills, and tools they will discover in class. Which one are you?
Explorer.
You all better be explorers. Right?
I'll be the vacationer when I'm really on vacation.
Right.
Being the explorer.
So I'm not even going to go through the prisoner and vacationer here. I'm going to go through all these traits that the explorer does. Listens attentively. Then participates fully in discussions and exercises. What did Drew say? Real estate is a contact what?
Sport.
Exactly. It's a contact sport. I mean, it's about interacting, participating. You ask a question, give an answer. No answers are dumb. No questions are dumb. Right? There's always an answer to everything that you might have. Ask meaningful questions and contributes completing and compelling a house. Find out, pay attention, because you just might have a reality or an aha moment that's just going to spark this into a whole different level for you. I get them all the time in this business, still to this day. I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Right? All the time, I always ask questions when I see a successful agent doing something that I want to know what they're doing. And I'll ask them, and like for example, the Del Rio team, right? Over in Palm, KW East. So Ruben, who is the husband, decided to put a flyer box on his open house sign that we put on the drive-through next to Starbucks. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Right? People are driving through the drive-through. He put an open house sign with a flyer box and a whole bunch of listings. And I'm like,
And I thought the same thing.
damn, why didn't I think of that?
When I walked out on Friday, I'm like, okay, I've been putting out my signs
Right.
out, but I didn't think about that, putting out the box.
I know, it's like,
You know?
dude, that's a great freaking idea. Damn, why didn't I think of that? Aha moment,
Yeah.
right? You'll find these little aha moments everywhere. Just gotta pay attention, right? Arrives to class on time and returns promptly from breaks. Takes notes in their manual for future reference. Respects the different learning styles and opinions of others. So you all guys have to be explorers. You all guys have to be participants. Next page. Several things are going to make this course a huge victory for you. Action reveal. Report on your mission for each power session. Your mission is your homework. Okay? Guys, do the work. It's not hard. Not hard at all.
I know.
Yeah.
That is,
Do-
Let me just say.
Here's the thing, you don't have to have phone conversations. You can have a conversation with somebody at the grocery store, counts for your lead generation in this program. Right? So, do the work. Doesn't take much. So let me ask you something. If you guys had a regular 9 to 5, which I don't know if any of you guys do, and you had tasks to do and assigned by your supervisor or boss, and you decided, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. What do you think would happen by the end of the week? You'd be already be
I
fired.
worked at the airport, okay, I was customer
Yeah.
service supervisor. If I left it for tomorrow, that flight didn't leave. So
There you go.
And you would have 350
There you go.
passengers, I'm a little mad.
So,
You
like
know?
I said earlier, if you're not doing the job, fire yourself in this business, right?
Mm.
You have to be committed. Treat it as a job. Treat it as a business. Here's the thing. A lot of people will give this business a hobby attitude. They treat it as a hobby. And hobbies, you don't make money. You invest in them. You spend money. You waste money, right? Treat it as a business, and it will give you a business paycheck. It'll give you business income. How does that happen? Commit to it. You clock in at a certain time, you clock out when you're done, when your day is done. Treat it as an 8-hour job. Dedicate 8 hours to this business every single day and see your business just flourish. Right? That's why I tell my guys over on the east side, your time starts with script practice. Script practice is at 7:30. That's the time you clock in. Right? And put it on your calendar. Time block it, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't
Exist.
exist. It really doesn't. Time block everything you do in this business, everything in your life, anything that has to be associated with your daily routine, put it on your calendar. Right? Even the times that you're going to take breaks, because you want to look forward to that. And take that break. So if you're super busy, guess what? We need to recharge. So give yourself that time. Don't just work through it. You know what? It's my 10-minute break. I'm taking a break, go outside, get some fresh air, but commit to coming back at the time that you need to come back. It's just like the breaks or the times that you get to relax when you have a regular 9 to 5. You clock in, you clock out, you clock back in, and you clock back out. Right? So, treat this business the same way. Treat it the same way. It's your business. It's your job. Show up. But not just physically. Show up mentally. You know, because like Drew was saying, there's gonna be days that you're having a crappy day, there's gonna be days that you're having a great day, and on those crappy days, you just don't wanna be here. Get rid of that mindset. And if you really just are having a really shitty day that day, then go somewhere else. Don't come in the office with that type of attitude.
Bring everybody else down.
Exactly. It's like cancer, it's contagious. Right? Go sit at Starbucks. Because being around a different atmosphere might change your mindset. You might pick up a client. Right? So like my laptop, when I first started in the business, or actually here in KW, I'd go to the Starbucks by Kohl's right here across the street every day. Every single day. Coffee was $1.50. I stop in and get me a cup of Joe. I'd sit down, I'd open my laptop, and you see my laptop, Alex. Well, as a matter of fact.
I gotta give something to them.
So I go to Starbucks, right? And I find a table near where everybody can see me. And
That's
I
serious.
Big laptops.
Love it.
Right?
Yeah.
And I put business cards out. Oh, you're in real estate? Yeah. Oh, I'm in real estate too. Oh, awesome. We start building relationships, right?
It's not just about
Yeah.
trying to get a
Oh,
client.
you're a real estate agent? Yeah. How's the market doing? Right?
Here, have a flyer.
Yeah.
Open
So
it.
I'll give you a good story behind
Here,
that.
go and sign in and all.
Yeah. Exactly. Put your info
We'll
here.
be right with you.
Have my secretary on the side, you know, my assistant. No. Hey, Mary, take her.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So,
Just don't get caught by Starbucks.
you know what I mean?
Why would they be mad?
People always ask questions, man.
Yeah.
But you need to let them know. Having a badge, I hate wearing badges, so I don't wear them anymore, right? But in this business as a new agent, yes. All over. KW all over. Shoes, pants, shirt, everything.
Yeah.
Right? Put it on your forehead with a marker. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let people know
It's official.
that you're in the business.
Yeah, I got my
Right? So, from Starbucks, I met this guy, his name was Mike. Mike was in there every single day working on his computer. He's a contractor, an investor, right? And I learned that through the conversation that we had, because he always says on my computer, he's like, oh, you're real estate? Yeah, he said, I'm an investor. Oh, great. I said, what type of investing you do? Right? Long story short, see him there every day. I said, hey, Mike, one of these days you and I are going to work together. He's like, nah, George. He's like, I have my agent. He's like, works for Caldwell Banker. He's like, Burrito. I said, that's fine. So one of these days you're going to call me. And I say that to him every single day. Let me know when you're ready to work with me. Let me know when you're ready to work. You want me to list in your homes? Because he owned, at that time, 32 houses.
Wow.
Right? Well, he has 17 left out of the 32. Right? Who do you think's older?
Yeah.
Okay. Called me one day. And I reminded him.
I'm sure the other.
Remember I told you you were going to call me one day? Yeah, he's like, haha, very funny, George. I said, what's up, Mike? He's like, so you really want to work together? I said, heck yeah, let's do it. So he gives me his first listing was a house over on the lake, over by the lake, upon the lake, right? Over by Tierra Subida. It's rehab, right? He invested a crap load of money into this place, made it look beautiful, and then everybody kept saying that it wasn't worth what he wanted to do it. And I said, I'll sell it for it. Heck yeah, I'll do it. I'll take the challenge. And I took the listing, and I did a few broker. I don't know if you remember this house.
Was it right by the lake? Oh, I remember which
Yeah.
one. It was a single story, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we did a tour that day.
Right.
I remember.
Right, and everybody, all the old timers in town kept saying to me that I was crazy for listing it at that price. Right? Because it wasn't a huge house, but it was location, 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 right? And I listed it for $500,000, and everybody said, "Oh, you're crazy. That's not gonna appraise. That's not gonna appraise." And I ended up selling for $525.
Oh, there you go.
Right? Yeah. And it appraised for that much. So if Mike would have never known that I was an agent,
Right.
I would have never built that relationship with him. Now, not only is he my client, but we're friends outside of business. You know, the relationship that we have, he gets invited to my family functions, he gets invited to everything I do, right? Because he's become a friend as a business colleague now. I don't call him a client anymore, right? Because now we're looking for us to do deals together, invest together, right? But if I would have never said anything, or have him view my computer or me spoken, it would have never happened, right? And like I told you earlier, a mouth that doesn't speak for food doesn't get fed. A hungry mouth. So you have to find it, you know? Find little key ways. I mean, there's little things that you can do in this business that will get people asking. That's what you want. You want people to be curious. Curiosity killed the cat, right? So, again, do the work, what it takes. Expectations for each power session for both you and your Ignite faculty. What's the power session? It's making calls. The moment that we get to the call session, what do I expect you guys to do?
Call.
Calls. Now, I don't expect you to go outside and find a place to call. I want calls done in here. Let's make this a bullpen, right? Because here's the thing. If you're around the energy, you get attracted to the energy. If what was your name again, bro?
Brandon.
If Brandon's making calls and he's making calls out loud, and Nicole hears that and that fires Nicole, that's what I want. Because it's going to become a domino effect. Nicole gets into calls, and then Amy and her husband get into calls, and then Nico gets into calls, and then what's your name?
Chris.
And then Chris gets into calls, and then Alex gets into, and it's just an ongoing thing, right? So the first time that I taught session 7, which is working with buyers, I was obviously at the class. I kind of gave them a little boom boom on the face, right? We get to the call session. I said, all right, guys, let's make some calls. Let's get some leads, right? Everybody gets up and starts, where's everybody going? Like, come back in, right? I said, we're making calls in here. And everybody's like, right? So people start making calls, and there was a lady sitting right where she is, probably a little bit farther back. And she's doing this. She's grabbing her phone. She's in her contacts and just squirreling up like this. Just looking at it. And I go up to her and I say, what are you doing? Oh, I'm looking for somebody to call. I said, go all the way to the bottom. She had like 300 contacts or something like that, right? So you got 300 people, start at the top. I said, look, scroll all the way to the top, and I'm doing this to her phone, right? It gets to the top, and I hit the number 1, I said, send. And she's like, what are you doing? What? Funniest thing ever. I put her in motion, right? Because if she would have done it on her own, she wouldn't have done it at all. And I pushed her. Right? And she said, what do we say? I said, well, I said, say hi. It's somebody you know, right? Say hello. And she's, hi, it's me. Who? And then she introduced herself. And she's just scrabbling like she doesn't know what to do. But we're in session 7 already. By this time, you've made some calls, right? You've lead generated. You know at least what to say. So it was obvious that she hadn't done or participated in her mission since session 1. Because she was still having issues dialing, and crazy of all, not knowing what to say. Right? So I pushed her, and guess what? She got an appointment out of it.
Out of that call?
Out of that first one. So she didn't know what to say, so I took over the call. I said, I can't remember the person's name, but I introduced myself. I said, look, I'm the instructor teaching. I can't remember. Let's say her name was Mary, right? I can't remember her name. I said, I'm actually the instructor teaching Mary how to lead generate for her business. Would you mind if we practice with you? No, great. So we go through the scoop of doing the script, right? And the lady was like, well, why don't you tell me how much my house is worth? And she got all excited. She said, oh. I was like, tell her you can come over tomorrow at 6. So she did. She got the appointment. I remember helping her do the CMA. I can't remember if she got the listing or not, but she got the appointment.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Getting in the door is your number 1 task.
You never know who it's going to be. Just
Right.
call.
Exactly.
I got
Absolutely.
ex-girlfriends hanging up on me mid-phone just because I'm calling them. You know? They both go like,
Eventually,
fuck you,
I
what?
wanted to say
Hey, whatever works, man.
But whatever, you know, like it's I just call him. But then again, I've got another one who's just like, yeah, how you been? My mom's, you know.
Right. So,
Whatever.
here's the thing, guys. If I wouldn't have pushed that lady that day, who knows where her business would have gone. Because she was able to conquer something
Yeah,
that she was afraid of conquering.
absolutely.
Right?
Is she
So-
still around?
Say that again?
Is she still around?
I don't know.
The highest money making activities are the activities that people want to do the least.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going to put you out of your comfort zone?
It's fine.
Right? So again, you guys got to complete your mission every single session. We're going to have to go a little bit faster because we have so much to cover. And
Let's get to phone calls.
time's running out.
Okay. That's next.
Sorry, I finally had some coffee. I feel awake now.
Oh.
Okay. Let's go to page 4. I mean, to page 18.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So have you guys so far learned something today? Yeah? Sure? So I can leave.
I learned.
Lead generation.
I guess that comes at the end when we do our ahas, huh?
Uh-huh. So let's get to the skill set. Make it happen. 4 skills at the bottom, right? Today you'll learn 4 new skills essential to gaining a strong customer base and having success in real estate. Skill number 1: know your big why and monetary goal. What's your
Yes.
big why? Do you know what a why is? Why are
Yes.
you doing this business? Okay? There has to be a reason behind it all. Your why has to be strong because your why has to motivate you.
It's gotta be more than money.
It has to be more than the money. More than the money. Money should never be the focus. Your why has to make you cry. Remember that. Because the moment you feel not having the energy of doing this business, think of your why, and it'll get you in motion.
Hell yeah.
For a lot of parents, it's their kids, right? For a lot of people, it's leaving the crappy job that they have. And here's the thing, guys, your why will change as your business grows. So why is the reason you're doing this business? Don't make your why the reason why you're not doing it. Does that make sense? So establish a strong why. It has to be more than, oh, I want to make a paycheck. Oh, I want to take a vacation. Because you can go to a vacation anytime you want. There's deals on TV all the freaking time. Right? So that can't be a motivation. That can't be your why. It has to be deeper than that. It has to hurt. Right? My motivation, it has always been my parents. Always. You know, I want to do so much for them, and right now it hurts me because my mom passed away a year ago, and there's some part of that dream is not going to come true. And that has always been my motivating factor is them. Right? I don't have any kids. I'm not married. My parents were my kids. Right?
I know the feeling.
Yeah. Everything I did,
Watch the kids.
I'd call my parents on a Saturday, Sunday morning. Hey, what are you guys doing? Nothing. Hey, pack a bag. We're going on a trip. Where are we going? Wherever the car takes us. Go to Vegas. Go to TJ. Go to Ensenada. Go to San Jose, San Francisco. Just wherever. Take my parents with me. You know, that was my why. Being able to do things like that for my parents. Now I do it just for my dad. You know, but because of this business, I was able to do a lot of things for them. I was able to do, and still continue to do with my dad. I pay his mortgage. I pay all his bills. He's always trying to give me money. I said, "Nah, Dad." I said, "When I need your money, I'll ask for it. I don't need your money right now. Keep it. Put it in the bank. Right? I can take care of it." That's my why. What's yours? Is it strong enough to get you in motion? Is it strong enough to wake you up every day? Think about that, guys. How many of you guys are parents? a story that I'd never forget, that Sam Rafe, the owner of this office, he said when he first came to the country, Rami, you guys know Rami?
Yeah.
He said that they were broke. He's like, we were broke. He's like, I remember going with Hadia to the grocery store. Rami was just a baby. And I remember he grabbed a cereal box off the counter, off the shelf, and I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford that cereal box for my kid. He's like, that completely changed my life. For you parents out there, can something like that, or a situation like that, impact you differently? Can that be your life? He never turned back. He gave it 120%. And look at what he's built. He's a multi-millionaire. Right? He was an agent at Century 21 Yarrow. Sam was. Right? He owns 5 offices. He owns 2 escrow companies. He owns a title company. He owns a ton of micro businesses and commercial and residential real estate. I heard him one day buy a friggin' island. I'm not kidding about that one. So it was that situation of Rami, and this is a story he told me personally, right? Of not him being able to afford, at that time, a $2 or $3 cereal box. Cereal box, guys. That became his wine. It was so deep that it got driven through his heart. And it impacted his life so much that he said, never again. Right? And look at where the empire that he's built.
Him and his wife.
Yeah.
Wife too.
You know, he's at a point that he's ready to retire. He did it. Now it's time for him to enjoy it. I don't know if he ever will, but it's incredible what the possibilities of you building a business when you really apply yourself to. Thomas Velasquez, he was 19 years old when he got into this business. He's 34 right now. Thomas is a multimillionaire. We used to ask him. He tells the story all the time. He's like, dude, I remember going into the conference room with George and JD, and they would do scripts, and I'd be in there, dude, he's like, I was horrible. He's like, so I'd come in earlier than them, so I could practice them when because we were pretty, not being a show up, but pretty good at our scripts at that, we were, and Thomas, he wasn't, right? And you heard it, and he wanted to improve himself. He committed to it. So he started showing up before us. And we did scripts at 7:15 years ago, right? And he just committed to the business, and look at where he's at now. It's insane. He's the #1 producer in this office. Right? His wife,
Or something like that.
say it again?
He does like 14 or like 30 deals a month.
He's closed 37 deals this year already. And we're in what? February?
Yeah.
37 deals. Already. It's freaking insane. Holy crap. I gotta get my stuff together, you know what I mean? That's insane.
Or even somebody like Tarazi. That guy's closing crazy deals. Crazy deals.
Yeah. It's all here. It's all here. Because this should be your mindset, but your wife should be in here. It should make your heart hurt. Right? Commitment to daily lead generation. Use influencing sales language. Again, scripts. Be accountable to your big why and monetary goal. Be accountable to your big why. It falls back into your big why. So write your big why and put it everywhere. Put it on your rear view. Put it on your phone, on your back, on your screen. Remember your why. Make it visible everywhere you are so you don't forget. We're gonna have to skip a couple pages. We're not gonna talk about your monetary goal. I'm more focused as to getting you ready because, like I said, money follows by default. So let's go to the next page, page 19. Skill number 1: know your big why and monetary goals. What stirs your soul? What are you in your business? What do you hope to achieve from this business, and for you, not only you, but for your family? Do you see yourself making a career out of this business? Right? Because like I said earlier, a lot of people treat it as a hobby, not as a business. Right? So, are you passionate about this? Are you passionate about your big why? Right? Passion for your big why. Anyone can achieve the goals you see in this course, but not everyone will. That's so true. I always say that real estate is for everybody. For everybody. And I mean that. But not everybody's for real estate. That make sense? Because everybody can buy, I believe that everybody in this world should buy a house. That means that real estate's for everybody. But not everybody's meant for the business. Right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? So, you got to have passion behind it. Page 20. Top pages can articulate their big why and why you are able to as well. A big why is what keeps them going when they are tired, bored, or disappointed. I just told you about that, right? So the moment that you don't feel to do, you really feel like not doing the business, think of your big why. Why are you doing the business? It's the spark that ignites their every day. Your big why might be to have financial success, to build your own business, to achieve a bigger life through your business. So let's go to the next page. What is your driving motivation? What is your why? What is your goal? For your career in real estate, what's going to get you there? Or page 21. What will achieving your goal mean for you? Will it mean that this will change the direction of your family, the direction of your life? Maybe improving your car, improving your home setting, maybe buying your first home, your first investment property, being able to provide for, like an example with me, for my parents, or for your parents. What does that look like? In what ways will your life change? What doors will open for you? And here's the thing, guys. This business has unlimited doors. Unlimited doors. Because there's so many opportunities in this business, it's unbelievable. I start off as an assistant, right? And then in that, being an assistant, I started bringing in buyers, and I started splitting it at 50-50 with the agent that I was working with. And then I started showing houses with his access. I wasn't even licensed, right? I was doing something illegal, but I needed to make money, so I was hustling, right? And then I got licensed, and I became an agent. And then I started working with buyers, and then I got my first listing. And then from that listing, more listings came. And then I grew and established a team. And then I grew from there. I became an investor, right? I bought my first property. I bought my second. I flipped them, right? I started a graphics business. I do graphic work for other agents. That business does well, right? There's multiple doors that have opened. Now me and Drew have the real estate school, right? And if it wasn't for this business, those opportunities would not be there. So, this business can open a ton of doors. A ton of doors. I've had job offers in real estate from companies that for some reason think that I'm an okay guy. I don't know, you know. I got a job offer not too long ago from a title company. They called me up. He's like, hey, you would be a great rep. He's like, we're offering you this. And it was a sweet deal, man. Sweet freaking deal. And I said no to it. Right? Just, it's not my thing. But any other person would have been like, damn, you said no to that? It was a really, really sweet deal. Right? I've had job opportunities to manage other real estate offices. I said no. Why? Because I'm a KW agent at heart. This office has done so much for me. So much. You know, we're a one big family. We help each other. We take care of each other. Right? We bleed red, right? And what's KW color? It's red. From your answers on the previous page, write one statement that summarizes your big why. And this is stuff that you can do at home. Okay? We got about 45 minutes before we got to wrap it up. We might, yeah. Using the camera on your phone, take a picture of your big why and make it your, I just told you this, look. Using your camera on your phone, take a picture of your big why and make it your new background. So you will see it and be reminded of it every time you use your phone.
I already have it on there.
There you go. She's ahead of the game.
It's the extension of that picture.
Right.
That's what I'm starting for.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
See, and Alex's why changed. I know that because I know her situation. Right? That's what I say. Your why is not always going to remain the same. But it has to move you. It really does. Make sense? It's okay, Alex.
Sorry.
No. See, she has a real why. It's making her cry. That's what I told you. If your why doesn't make you cry, it's not good enough. So think about that. Write your answers to these questions. What could get you in the way of achieving your big why? How can you prevent that? You know what the number one thing that can prevent you from achieving what your big why is? It's yourself. You're your biggest cheerleader and your biggest enemy. Self-sabotaging is real. So the next part is going to talk about your monetary goals. That's something I want you guys to think about. What is your target in this business? What's your GCI? What's your net? Because there's a difference between GCI and net. You guys know what GCI stands for, right?
Gross commission income.
Exactly. That means before your expenses, before you pay taxes, before you pay your bills. What do you want your GCI to do? I just walked earlier and I saw, going back to Thomas Velasquez, he had everything visible there. I saw his GCI for this year is $2.8 million.
2.8. I'd seen it on his window this morning.
$3 million pretty much. GCI, gross commission income. That if his GCI is that, let's do some numbers.
He's making a quarter
And
to
he'll
half a
probably
mil.
reach it before summer.
Say that again?
Yeah, he'll probably reach it before summer.
I know, right? So 3 million. Let's do minus 35%. After his expenses, he's probably going to end up with like 1.9 million net. 34 years old. What if he? Let's say it was $1 million, and he'll get to that 2.8. I know for a fact that he will. Crazy, right? Are you bored, Nicole?
No,
Are you burned out?
no.
Are you sure? Wake up! Page 27, skill number 2, commitment to daily lead generation. Great. Your big whys and monetary goal. So how do you get from here to there? Lead generation. You establish your why. You made a reason. You made a statement as to why you're gonna hustle this freaking business, right? Why you're gonna tackle it. Grab the bull by the freaking horns and ride him, right? You established that already. So what are you gonna do now to get or make that a reality? Skill number 2, lead generation. What is lead generation? Finding clients for your business. Okay? How do you do that? In every way possible. Easiest way to do lead generation, again, we talked about at the beginning, is an open house. Non-threatening. What's another way to do lead generation? Door knocking. Right? Cold calling. Farming. Anything that establishes a conversation with another person is lead generation.
About real estate.
Floor time is lead generation. You know? But there's different kinds.
You need at least 3, right?
Right. Well, I say always focus on 3, or find 3 that are going to lead generate, but focus on one task that's really going to be your bread and butter. Right? And there's two types of leads. What are they?
Warm and cold.
Say it again?
Warm and cold.
No.
Met,
Whoa.
haven't met. Met, haven't met.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You either have leads that already know you, or you buy it. You buy leads all day long. But if you're a starting agent, you're a brand new agent, you probably won't have the money to do that.
Talk to title.
Right? There's different ways. Absolutely. Right? Maybe you want to buy leads and you're going through Zillow or Realtor.com or these third-party real estate companies that I don't believe in because they're literally reselling the leads that you already have. Right? And people are paying thousands of dollars on a monthly basis to get these leads that I just think is ridiculous because if you go out there and walk the neighborhood a couple hours a day, you might find better quality leads, right? That's where farming comes into place. Find an area and farm it. You guys know what farming is? Yeah? Everybody know what farming is? Hey, how do you find a farm? Designate an area. Talk to a title rep. Talk to Frank Donato. Tell him if he could help you find an area to farm and farm it. Okay? I know a KW agent in the Valley. He started the business when he was in his early 50s, right? He's in his 70s now. Super successful, right? He farms an area. He has about 1,000 homes in his farm, or probably a little bit less. But every single day, still to this day, he knocks on 25 doors in his farm every single day before he goes home. That's his daily routine. When he leaves the office, he goes to his farm and he door knocks 25 doors every day. And he remembers where he left off and he keeps track of it. And by the time the end of the month came, he hit every house in his neighborhood. The following month, he starts all over again. Boom. So now he's hitting that neighborhood physically once a month. Right? And he brings items of value. Don't just farm an area and be like, hey, you want to sell your house? No, provide a service. Remember, we have to be servants to the people that we want lead generate to. How can I serve you? Right? So, how many hours are you going to dedicate? Imagine this, guys. If you were to dedicate or treat this business as a job, 8 hours a day, right? And for those 8 hours, all you did was lead generate. For 8 hours. You didn't do nothing else but make phone calls for 8 hours. Every single day. 30 days. How will your business change? Seriously. It'd be freaking insane. You'd be the #1 producer in the whole valley. Right? So can you imagine if you were to dedicate 2 or 3 hours a day to your business, lead generating? No. On my calendar, I have a morning session and an evening session of making calls. Right? Whoever didn't answer the phone, like with my expires, whoever didn't answer in the morning, will answer in the evening. And if I don't answer that day, I keep calling. Those leads I buy. I buy expired listings, because I wanna know what, because, yeah, you can check the MLS for the expired listing, but there's no contact info. So I buy their contact info. I give them a call, right? Give them a call and find out if they wanna relist. Here's the thing, working with expired listings is not an easy thing to do. Because first of all,
They have a sour taste in their
they're
mouth.
pissed.
Yeah.
The last thing they wanna know is how many houses you sold, or who the heck you work for, right? They're in a mindset that they don't give a crap. They don't wanna talk to an agent. I'm gonna do, you know what? I'm gonna become a fiscal for sale by owner. Screw agents. So the last person they wanna hear from is somebody from Keller Williams. So it takes a certain skill to be able to drop that wall on a for sale by owner, on an expired listing, and give them a different type of expectation, right?
It's all about how you come across.
Exactly, it's all in the script, right? Because here's the thing, not only are you becoming their agent, you're becoming their shrink. That's the honest truth, because you will be the go-to person for every issue that they have with that house, right? So focus on how many hours you're gonna lead generate. I always recommend at least 3 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week. Some people forget about the weekend. The weekend is the best time to lead generate if you're doing like cold calling. Why? Everybody's home, right? Everybody's home. Why not call them on Sunday afternoon? They're probably in their backyard having a carne asada, you know what I mean? It's like, come on. We're barbecuing, yeah, or working on their yard, or doing something, but they're home. That's the best time that's the time that you're really gonna find your leads or people at home. Go to page 29. So the lead generation funnel, right? Here's the thing, guys, it's all a numbers game. The more people you contact, the bigger chance you're gonna have at generating some new piece of business, right? So as you can see this funnel, the biggest layers or wide is gonna be your leads. And these leads have to go into your database. You wanna expand your database. You know, grow it to 1,000 or 2,000 or as many people as you can. Can you imagine if you were to do this program? It's meant to be a 4-week program. In 4 weeks, you're gonna have 200 new contacts, right? So imagine if you added 200 contacts every single month for 12 months. How many people would you have in your database? Imagine if you did Ignite as part of your regular business. I mean, your database would be insanely very healthy. Can you do it? Challenge yourself. You know, it's another idea. So there's another program called Bold that KW offers. It's that program. It's all mindset. This one, it's mindset. It's business. It's a whole bunch of different things, right? Bold teaches you. It has a challenge called 100 conversation in 1 day challenge. Literally, you have to have 100 conversations in 1 day about real estate. So we did it cold calling, me and my business partner, right? At that time, it took us 9.5 hours to have 100 conversations in this business. My ears were like, ding, from freaking making calls all day long.
How did that look?
Amazing. We ended up doing that challenge 3 times. I remember we ended up picking like, between buyers and sellers, I think we had close to 60 leads, bro, from that 3 challenges that we did. It was amazing. So why aren't more people doing it? That's why I'm saying, can you imagine if you dedicated 8 hours a day, like a regular job, to this business, just in lead generation, right? So these are going to lead into appointments. Appointments lead into agreements, and agreements lead into contracts that lead into a payday. How many of you guys? Has everybody closed a deal in this room? No?
Yes.
Okay. You haven't? You haven't either? You guys have, right? You Nico? Nico? No deals yet? Not yet.
I mean, I've got my listing up. I've got a listing.
Chris, you said Chris, right?
So
Have you? No? Are you new in the business also? Okay.
Is it new?
Where'd you get licensed?
The listing? It's a
I got
bold.
licensed last June,
bold.
but I just signed on last week.
Got it. Okay. Well, welcome back. Perfect timing, getting back into the business. So,
I'd say.
say again?
I said I'd say.
Yeah. So, I mean, can it happen? Absolutely. It's just based on how committed are you. Here's the thing, guys. You can be anywhere and lead generate. So if you're going to dedicate time to Netflix or building a business, where do you think your time should be dedicated to? Building a business, right? I remember I used to be in this business where I had to recruit people, right? And then obviously I had to have applications filled out. And I remember my trainer at that time was like, here's what, because I love watching TV. I love movies, right? And he knew about it. So he's like, take applications and tape them to your TV. Cover your TV with applications. You don't get to watch TV until you remove all the applications with new people. So whenever you have a new person, take an application off your TV, fill it out, and you can watch that little square.
That's too funny.
I did it. I did it, and it worked.
Applications for what?
To get into the business. You know, because I had to recruit, so I had to take an application from them.
Oh, like a team leader.
Say it again?
Like a team leader.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did. Yeah, and I remember in that business, my recruiting got so good, the bonuses that I'm talking about 15 years ago, man. The bonuses that we were getting paid on a per person was, I remember it was $329 a person that I recruited. It's how much I got paid up front in bonuses. Dude, we started recruiting 10, 15, 20 people a week. We were making so much money. It was insane. Ask me where that money is.
In real estate.
I don't know. Because I was dumb and stupid. I was young. And I was making so much money that I was spending it like it was never gonna end. If I would have had the mindset that I have now thanks to this business, things would have been different. Because I would have had that money invested in so many places. I go to Vegas and go to the Perez hotel with my friends and have a $6,000 or $7,000 bar tab. And I flipped my car like it was nothing. Money was coming in. I was making that much on a weekly basis, right? But it didn't last. And when it was gone for good. And I was like, oh shit, right? I had a brand new Escalade at that time. It got repossessed. Like I said, my mindset wasn't there. I was just having fun. I was dumb and stupid. That's exactly what I was. So, when I got into real estate, my mindset completely changed. Because I dedicated into growing myself, right? I learned what my why back then was completely different than what my why is today. My why back then was I want to be a millionaire. That was my why. Monetary whys are the worst thing, right? So, let's do this. Let's take 15 minutes. You guys want to do some calls? You're falling asleep.
I'm not falling asleep.
I'm seeing your eyes like.
We're good to coffee.
Let's. As a matter of fact, let's all stand up.
Let's do it.
Stretch out.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn, you're tall. I'm too short. Stretch it out, guys. Get some blood flowing.
Have to go back to the gym, man.
Get ready. Get some energy going because we're going to get into making some calls for the next 15 minutes and then we'll close up. Geez, this session requires 2 days. This is the first time I teach session 1.
2 days for session 1?
I said it would require. There's so much to cover. All right, guys. You guys ready to make some calls?
No. Yes.
You guys ready to make some calls?
Yes.
Louder. You guys ready to make some calls?
Yes.
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 You guys ready to make some calls?
Yes.
Yes. So let's get your phones out. you have it written down, it would even be better. If you have it on your computer, even nicer.
Stand real quick.
Okay?
Go stand by laptop real quick.
Okay? Remember, guys, we're lead generating for the next 15 minutes. We're looking for you guys to look for a buyer or seller. It's that simple. As for business, hey, who do you know that was interested in getting into real estate right now? Who do you know from work? Who do you know from your friends? What about your family? What about church? Don't you play baseball? What about the baseball team? You don't play soccer, right? What about the soccer team? By now, if you don't ask, you won't know. So let's give it till 12:20, and let's start dialing. And start dialing, or I'll dial for you.
Hey, Claudia, how you doing? That's good. How's everything been? I remember last time we spoke, you guys were. I spoke to your sister.
You do that? Yeah, because these people you know. When it's a cold call?
I already called him a few times.
Sounds good.
He's my first contact.
Oh, got it. Just call it. Hey, here's the thing. When it comes to contacts, don't make it so much about your business. Make it about them.
Yeah, because he lives in Montana.
Got it.
He doesn't live in the state, but his parents live in Ontario.
Ford.
I couldn't talk to him about his parents, but my fiance's roommate's now husband.
Oh, wow.
We know of each other.
Right, right.
Hey, Brianna. Hey, how you doing? It's Nico. How you been? I'm doing fantastic. I'm just over here at the office now.
Hey, this is Brendan Garrett.
Getting some work done. How you been? What's new?
I'm good. Good morning. I'm actually in a training class right now. I'm meeting with a real estate
Where are you working?
realtor now. Yeah, so I'm working with California, and I'm actually in a training class.
Where were you working
And
before?
they're forcing us to call.
The one part.
And you happen to be, there we go.
Oh, okay.
My phone. So I'm just calling just for kind of a practice.
Oh, you know what?
To touch off and.
Yeah, one time it was a while. I haven't been there in a while. Not since I went in there. They had
Wanted to reach out, let you know
a
that.
sushi chef. Killed it with his bare hands. And I was like, oh, I'm out of here.
I don't know if you were the family.
Yeah.